I am always surprised when I see this. In my classes, it's actually a rule that if you have a cell phone with you, which almost everybody does, it needs to be turned off and put out of sight. Some people put their cell phone on silent or on vibrate, and then here's what happens. I see this all the time. They put it right next to them, so it's sitting there on the desk, and then they try to pay attention and take notes and all that, and then all of a sudden, it rings or goes off. They hear the or whatever, and I've seen students actually during class do this. And they're trying to like pay attention to me, but they're so tempted, and they end up grabbing it and then under the table texting back. Okay, that's very distracting to the teacher. It's usually distracting to the people around them, and unless you have an emergency that you're waiting for word about, there's no way that you should be able to, you should be able to go like an hour, 2 hours without texting. Some people are like addicted to texting, and so they almost can't. That's why it's better to just put it away and turn it off completely unless you have, again, an emergency that you're waiting for. Also, in addition to that, from this list here, I've had students before, many times, who have sat together, maybe with a friend of theirs, and they love talking. And I love when people talk, but not exactly while I'm talking. I think that's the same for you. You'd feel the same way. So I'm in the middle of teaching something important, and then I see a person, as soon as I finish saying something, they turn to the person next to them and they do this. And the other person, yeah. And then about 20 seconds later, I finish saying something else. Yeah, and so after a while, I end up saying something and then almost looking at them, waiting for them to talk, and everybody gets distracted around them. The other thing that I've seen, and I don't know if this is going to surprise you or not, it always surprises me even after all these years. I've seen some students sitting there while I'm teaching, and they have their notebook paper in front of them, and they're listening, and then when I say something, they do this. Okay, now that looks good, right? That looks normal, except when they're done, they do this. And then the person next to them, yeah. And they're passing notes during class. And I look at that and I think, if I wanted to see that, I'd be teaching middle school or elementary school. It's just very immature. So it's always important when you're in a class to be very respectful of your classmates and the teacher. You want to have an environment where you can really listen and concentrate without being bothered by everything. And teachers are especially bothered usually by everything that happens where it's not focusing directly on them. Okay, now number 7. I want to make a comment about this too. They realize that most college classes require several hours per week for homework, review, and other types of studying. With that in mind, they schedule time to study, and most often choose to study even when other more attractive activities come up. They do this regardless of how they feel at any given time, because doing well in school is very important to them. Okay, now, so here's what I'll say first about this. If you spend 10 hours a day studying, I will worry about you. I teach study skills, so I like it when people study, but you have to have balance in your life or you go crazy, so you need to enjoy things and all that. But what this one is about is this. I think this is true of most of you, maybe even all of you. You're in school right now, and you have a friend, like a good friend of yours,